going to try and walk through what I do for my home feeds. When I'm not in the hospital, I set up my own feeds and hook up and all of that kind of stuff. And it's been about 13 months now since my surgery, so I've had lots of practice, so I can go through it pretty easily. I have pneumonia and bronchitis, so if I sound like I'm kind of struggling to breathe or a little winded, it's because I am. So I will start by telling you what kind of feed I have. I have the Kangaroo Joey pump. It's one of the bigger, bulkier pumps of the brands, because there's the Kangaroo, there's an Infinity pump, I'm sure there's a couple others, but I was given this one since I'm on 24-hour feeds. It's just something that will hold up for 24 hours at a time, but I don't get out much, so it's usually plugged in all of the time. So what I'm going to show is what I do. So first off, I have yesterday's feeds. I didn't get all of it in because sometimes I have pains when I feed for too long. So sometimes I'll get in all of my feeds, and sometimes I can only get in about sometimes half of what I'm actually supposed to a day, but every day I try. But it seems to be working fine, because before the surgery I was about 90 pounds, and I've gained about 20 pounds since then. And I mean, of course, it's still my weight goes up and down, but being on feeds has helped me stay above 100 pounds, so that's the goal. So for me, some people have feed bags, which is where you put your formula. And when I first came home, I just had feed bags, and I would have to unhook and flush manually with a syringe every 2 to 4 hours, so the formula wouldn't build up in my tube. But recently I was able to switch over to feed and flush bags. So the flush bags is a bag the same size. It just has sterile water in it, and that it will do it automatically. The machine will, but I'm gonna I have a little bit of sterile water left, and since it's sterile water, I usually reuse it. Now the formula I can't, because it gets old. So what I usually do, if I have extra water, I'll usually put it in my new bag. So what I use, the Kangaroo Joey feed and flush bags, and I also have my formula is Peptamin. Just take 1 cal, and it's 250 mils, and the goal for me every day is to complete 5 cartons of formula. Usually I can only get maybe 5, so sometimes I can get 3 full in very few days I can get all 5. I try, but usually I'll get, let's see, last night I have about 450 mils left in yesterday's. So I got about four, maybe a little less. But what I'm going to do is first open everything. And with the feed and flush bags, I didn't know this, but they're not 2 separate bags with 2 separate tubings. The bags come separate, of course, but it connects right at the place where we put it in to the pump. So what I do, I'm going to put my leftover water into my new bag and then fill it up. I put 1,000 mils total, so I fill up the bag because sometimes I'll need to flush more, so you have to make sure you always put enough, because it's a hassle to have to keep opening the bag to refill. So I fill it up, and if I have to put more, then it's not that big of a deal. But fill it up, and I'm only allowed I can't use these bags more than once. So no matter what, every single day I have a new bag and new tubing. So with what's left over, I just throw it away. And then I always have purified drinking water, as long as it's not tap water. It works just fine. And usually just room temperature is fine. That's why I don't need it in the fridge or anything, because I mean my formula as well is room temperature. So I put the water in, close this bag, and I set everything up first before I turned it on and set up the machine. So I know you probably can't see, but I have, the hooks on my IV pole. The water always goes on the right for me for some reason. That's just how I do it. And then what I will do now is I fill up my feed bag. So this is the second formula I've tried, the Peptamen. The first one I took was Osmolite 1.2, and I'm lactose intolerant. So we changed to, this is a peptide-based complete nutrition. It's made with whey protein instead of milk, so it doesn't upset my system as much as the milk-based formulas do. And sometimes when I'm in the hospital, they don't have Peptamen, but they do have Vital 1.2, I think it's called, and it's similar. But sometimes if they don't have that, I have to have a milk-based, and it does cause a lot of problems, but usually I can deal with it. But for me, insurance pays for everything. I'm lucky that way that I don't have to pay for anything. I mean, we didn't, I don't think we bought all of this stuff. I think we just rent it, but we may buy it. I don't know. I don't take care of my insurance stuff. My grandma does. But most people have to buy their pumps or pay on it every month. And formula, it costs about close to $14,000 a month for my formula feed bags, which I get 31 a month. I get syringes. I get 4. I usually don't need that many, but I get 4 in a shipment. And I also get split sponges for my tube. I always have to keep it covered and taped down with hypoallergenic tape because I'm allergic to all adhesives. But I found one on Amazon that doesn't break me out at all. So I've used that for the past year or so. And that I get free tape like with my shipment, but since I'm allergic to all of that, pretty much if that's the only tape that I'm gonna use, then I have to buy that out of pocket. But it's not that expensive. It's about $15 a roll, and for me it can last 6 months or more. So it's definitely worth a buy. If you have any questions about what that is, then I'll be happy to post what it is. Just let me know. So whenever I do my feeds, hold on, this moves too. Let me turn around. So whenever I do my put my formula in, I can only do 4 cartons at once, and 4 cartons at 250 mils each is 1,000, and that's how much fluid or how much liquid that a bag will hold. Of course, you can see that there is a couple more inches of room, and it actually does hold the 5th carton. But since sometimes I don't get all the way to the 5th carton in my feed, then I usually just wait, and if I get through all 4 and think I can handle the 5th, then I'll put it in once that feed's done. Okay, so I have I have my feed and my flush, and I'm going to bring this closer so I can show you how I set up the tubes. So okay, so on mine there is this little tab that is the first part, and then there's another part at the end, and in between there's it's stretchy. For the feed and flush, it's a lot tougher plastic to stretch, but with just the feed bags it was a lot stretchier. But you have to be careful because if you pull on it too hard, then it will break. So what you do, for me, the very first part, there's, I know it's going to be shadowy, but